Hello everybody, this is Cresso and I'm here for another interesting topic. The title of this clip is called Money Talk. A couple of my clips I've talked about money a few times here and there. And for a little bit I've been, it's been on my mind about new ideas of how to create a different money system. Okay? And early today, I had a wisdom within me, which obviously comes from consciousness, that I have it basically helped me to basically discuss about the new idea of money. It's basically a different outlook of money. And I want to share that with everybody. Money impacts us in a lot of ways. No matter if you're in the U.S., doesn't matter where you are. Money money helps us, and money somehow becomes a barrier or divides people, whatever. But I'm going to talk about what money means to us, or my take on money. And I want to discuss about, again, the new idea, basically how to transition into the new money system. I'm aware that, there's Bitcoin, there's other types of money system. And when Bitcoin, from what I heard of, when Bitcoin first came out, the government and banks weren't too thrilled about it. Basically was worrying, the government, especially here in the U.S., was trying to give excuses about Bitcoin not regulated by government, use up this classic excuses about terrorists and other drug cartels, whatever. But anyway, Bitcoin have its own stuff of basically, a trust issue. But, what I last heard, Bitcoin is going through some stuff. I don't want to get too much into technicality about Bitcoin too much, but I did thought about purchasing Bitcoins, but I don't know. I'm at this point right now that I like to focus on this idea that came to me more, but I've been thinking about a new money system for quite a while. But yeah, Bitcoin was a good, kind of like a breath of fresh air. All right, so I'm giving a little bit of a props to Bitcoin, but again, like I was saying moments ago, it's going through some stuff, and I'm kind of going to scale back in terms of purchasing Bitcoin. But I like the idea that it basically, and when I mean a breath of fresh air, it kind of breaks away from the whole banking system in a way, and the whole government structure. I like that for what I know of Bitcoin. Anyway. Yeah, money, whether in the U.S. or no matter where you are, it's like a lot of my clips, I talk about how we limit money. We limit money for different reasons. We limit money because, in my human paradigm clip, we limit money because we don't know who we are for the moment. We put a salary cap on ourselves. And, for a while, I deep hidden in my mind, I said to myself, it's like, wow, people, a lot of us, we're going through so much problems about money, and, and I played with the thought years ago that, wow, just imagine that everybody has money and everyone able to take care of themselves, and it'll just eat up a lot of other problems. But it's really not about money. Money, I know a lot of us, some of us don't like money, for different reasons. And one of them is, religious. Some of your, whatever religion belief you have, you think money is from the devil. You think money is the root of all evil. I've heard that for years. But, it's like, I had to put together all that and just the whole thing about money. And I realized that, money is a suggested idea, like anything in life. My thing is what you do with the money. So money, money is not the root of all evil. And I'm not going to sit here and saying that people are evil, so I'm not going to even go there either. And what I put together, everybody, is how you feel about yourself. I'm going to break it down into simplest forms. It's how you feel about yourself. And I talk about this in my human paradigm clip, that, being human is just an experience. It's an experience of consciousness rediscovering itself. Okay, so wherever, if you're wondering what do I mean about all this, why I'm saying that, check out that clip of the human paradigm and you'll understand fully what I'm talking about. A lot of us, no matter who you are, okay, you deserve every best thing in life. I say that in my clips, I tweet that, okay? That's the truth. You see, the thing is that we have this belief system about ourselves through, whether it's through religion, whether through your religion faith, whether through your upbringing, about you basically don't deserve things, or you have to sacrifice, or you got to fight your way, or you got to persevere, you have to go through the struggle. And like I was telling you earlier about how money is the root of all evil, right? Now I'm going to give you my breakdown on a psychological level and well as spiritual now, why people do certain things. When you basically feel a certain way about yourself, okay, when you feel low or you feel like you don't deserve something, right? What you do is that you are attracting things that you don't like, or, that you don't prefer. I know there's a lot of clips that talks about money on YouTube or any other place. And I've heard stuff like this about law of attraction, or how to basically, there's so many clips out there about how to basically align yourself with wealth and everything. And I'm going to tell you the truth, everybody. Some of the stuff that I heard on YouTube, I've been inspired. But see, I have my own take on things too. I look deeper. I had to look deep in within myself about why do I find myself feeling a certain way because of money. I get stressed out. I feel like I don't have enough money, right? I got this poor man's mentality. And I have to dig deeper inside. And I'm like, a lot of the stuff that the feeling I have is my doing. It's really my doing. So a lot of stuff, I'm just using myself for example for a moment. A lot of the stuff that what people do things because of the sake of money, a lot of it is basically mental and spiritual. It's a lot of stuff going on from within. It's not really the currency itself. In this clip, I am gonna talk about a new money system. But you see, a new money system that attached to a different, let's just put it this way, a different outlook or a perspective or a different concept of money, of how you think of money. So that's what this clip's going to be. A lot of it's going to be about. From upbringing, we grew up thinking that we have to earn money. We believe in this idea that money defines you. People do all kinds of things just to get that dollar or whatever currency, whatever country you're from. And you got people use money for other things, for any other type of situations. Like, there's people who use money for power, for a position of power. I mean, people try to control other people because of money. It's because how the person feel about themselves. When you try to, let's say, I'm going to give some I'm gonna give the best examples, everybody, and I'm gonna like most of my clips, I give the best examples, and basically I do whatever I can to connect to the theme of my clip. Okay. So a lot of stuff I'm going to basically say an example. Some things not going to apply to everybody. Okay. Now, when you try to use money to try to control somebody, okay, you have a very low self-esteem about yourself. And on top of that, you're allowing your own ego get the best of you. You're very egotistic. You think because you have this much amount of money, you think either you're better than somebody or you have some power over somebody. Everybody, you heard this saying, money talks. When I hear that, money talks, is that people allow money to become the source. Yet, people momentarily basically decide to not recognize that they are a source of money. You are the source. We created money. So actually, the one that's doing the talking is you, not the money. You're just playing a game that money is over you. I tweeted this last year. I think it was like the end of last year. Anyway, I say that without you, money is basically useless. And that's the truth. Without you, what is money? Money is nothing. Money needs you, not the other way around. But you see, because we rely on our own ego, we think that money needs us. That you need money. It's like, wow. If you understand who you are, that you are prosperity, okay? You are prosperity, people, with or without money. So money needs you, not the other way around. So excuse me for my error. So yeah, we do certain things, we get into certain activities because we have a lack mentality. A lot of stuff that we do because of the idea of money, we limit ourselves. We limit ourselves because of our own ego. A lot of the stuff when it comes to money, a lot of things that we go through, it's unnecessary. And quite frankly, you might call me crazy or not, whatever, I don't care. There is a solution about this whole thing with the money issue. Why people don't have enough money and why certain countries are the way they are because of money. Or why people hoard money. Or why you got this idea somebody is greedy. Right? We judge somebody that's being greedy. I can tell you this, anybody that thinks about being greedy, you know why? Because they have a lack mentality. They believe that they're not worthy of the best things in life. So they got to hoard all that money. That's the truth. They are basically under the lack mentality. It's the same thing as somebody that's basically agreed to be poor. That you don't have money, you're nothing. You amount to nothing. You're poor. Or you got certain ideas that basically supports that lack mentality. The situation, this whole thing with money is a game. It is. It absolutely is. Because you see, I created clips about this on my human paradigm again. Because we agree to the idea of lack of money, it creates other ideas. Okay? We create a government. Okay? Government itself has a lack mentality. When do you ever hear about government talks about prosperity? When do you ever hear about any type of government system talks about basically how prosperous everybody is or the land is or whatever? Most of the times you hear a politician, for example, will talk about that we have to cut back on this, we have to cut back on that, do this and do that. You always hear the word cutbacks. So when you hear the word cutback equals government, for example. Or for example, you got a corporation. You got a corporation, you know that whole saying, got to tighten up the belt. I used to hear that a lot. Tighten up the belt. That means you got to cut back. We got to lay off workers because we got to lay off workers because we don't have enough money to pay for everybody, right? We limit money in so many different ways, everybody. If you really step out of your ego and re-examine a lot of stuff that around this world, it's because all the stuff that we're doing it's all suggested. It's a suggested idea. Nobody told you that you have to be poor. Nobody told you that you have to basically limit money. I mean, I'll say this, and spiritually, your prosperity with or without the currency. Now, I understand a lot of us do like currency. A lot of you don't. I like currency. I have no shame about it. I like the idea of money. Now, the thing is that we basically put ourselves through hell. There's other countries that basically lacks money. And then and it all falls down to corruption, whether it's through a drug cartel, whether through a government system. And I mean, like, wow, all that because of lack of money. I'm like, I gotta be honest with everybody. I look at it like, I'm like, who told you that you have to limit money? I mean, the way I look at things, people, that, like, for example, the drug cartels, it's quite easy to basically dismantle the whole idea of drug cartels. I know I may seem like I'm going off topic of money, but I'm going to touch on certain things just as examples, all right? And a lot of stuff that I'm going to say does connect to the topic. To this clip. You see, my take on a drug cartel, for example, is basically when you got a group of people that tries to regain power or try to control a large community through other activities, it's like this. It's because they are also falling under the lack mentality and also allowing their own ego wrap them upside a web. Same thing like a mob, the mafia, or any type of activity, any type of paradigm that we create. We use money to try to control people or to rule. If you break this paradigm down into pieces, it's all based on lack of money. Now think about it, everybody. Get outside your ego, okay? Okay? Just be open. Just think about this. Just imagine. If people are able to take care of the basic things, okay? The basic things, right? About their lives, right? And not only that, but feel in a certain way about themselves, right? If they have a mentality, people decide to take on a mentality that they are worthy, because that's the truth. Everybody is worthy. I don't care if you're a drug lord, a drug leader, whatever, a cartel, one of these big top drug cartel heads, whatever. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm just talking fast and I'm thinking, but it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter. Everybody's worthy. So to go back what I was saying, that people decide to take on the idea that they are worthy, and that's the truth now. And at the same time, they're able to take care of themselves. Okay? That a lot of these ideas, for example, everybody, like drug cartels, mafia, and all that stuff, it basically, a lot of you wouldn't basically observe these paradigms. You won't. You wouldn't be having an idea of that of a lack mentality of money, because there's enough money for everybody. Everybody thinks that by having a certain amount of cops and a certain amount of soldiers to control these gangs and mafia, think that's it's going to end it all, but not really. See, I'm looking at things spiritually and psychologically, everybody. It's not about having how many cops you have out there. It's not about how many soldiers that you have, or it's not about what type of government structure you're going to have. In this clip, I'm going to focus about money. It's about how people feel about themselves. It's about the mentality that they carry with. They have a certain mentality about themselves. You feel like you're not worthy. You feel you put an idea out there that you have a salary cap. You put yourself under a salary cap. We limit money. We limit money. I want to ask everybody this question. I want you to just think about it. If you want to comment on it, please do so. I want to say this, and this is for anybody, no matter where you live. It doesn't matter what country. And this is a question I ask myself, and I'm going to ask everybody else this question. Who told you that you have to limit money? Just please tell me, where do you get this idea from? Where do you get this idea that there's a limit to money? That's a question. I want you to think about this to yourself. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you something how I feel about that when I ask myself this question. Who limit money? Where did this come from? And you know what I did? First, I had to check myself, my own ego. Okay? I took the responsibility in basically calling out my own ego. I believed that I didn't deserve the best things in life. I took on the idea, especially from upbringing, that I have to earn it. Nothing's given to you. You know? You gotta earn it. You gotta do whatever. You gotta hustle, whatever you gotta do. You gotta earn it. So yeah, I took on that idea. Then the next one, I took the responsibility. I took the responsibility that I created government. I took the responsibility that I created banks. I created the Federal Reserve. And before I go on about the Federal Reserve and government, I'm not here to give a history lesson. I'm going to give some examples, okay, about these currencies. Just examples. I'm not here to give out some history lessons, okay? So I'm just giving just going to use some examples for the sake of this clip. So I say to myself, wait a minute, okay. So here in the United States, okay, that how the Federal Reserve came to be is because after World War I, I'm telling everybody for what I know about the Federal Reserve, why it exists, how we created it, and how we accepted it. So after World War I, the U.S. was basically broke. Okay? All right? So you understand, you know, the whole idea with government, what it comes with, whatever, right? So basically, the United States was basically broke. So the federal, okay, whatever the federal came from, I don't care. I'm just going to give some example. The federal came in, basically bailed the United States government out. So the federal notes basically that you hold in your hand is basically, you know, what do you call that? It's basically like a loan, actually. Those greenbacks that you're holding is basically a loan for the government. It's a loan. Yeah. It's how do you call that? I don't know how you call that. But anyway, it'll come to me. So yeah, the greenbacks here in the United States is basically a loan. But, you know, the fact that the Federal Reserve regulates the money, okay, it does reprint money all the time. It does. So I'm like, okay, so that's when I felt, you know, a while ago, I felt like, okay, I understand that why we limit money, because we have a paradigm that we created that sets the limit. It sets that bar. It will say to everybody, you're going to have this amount of money. You can't basically counterfeit money, okay? We created a law, okay, that you cannot counterfeit money. It's all based on control, okay? So we have something that basically regulates about that. You can't basically counterfeit money, and there's a limit to it. So yeah, so that's just basically it. And what else? Oh, not only that, but we got this thing in our head about if everybody has money, who's going to do these jobs? No one's not going to do anything. So we have this low, we think of ourselves so low that nobody's going to contribute to life. Because again, it's scary to the mind, to the ego mind, that if everybody has money or able to take care of themselves, they're not going to do anything. So yeah, the world is going to end, for example, if nobody doesn't want to work for McDonald's. Uh-oh, shucks. Who's going to eat? I mean, how are we going to have fast food? It's not going to be any fast food because no one's not going to work there. I mean, just trying to be a little humorous here, but yeah, we had this idea that nobody's not going to contribute to life if everybody have a lot of money. And I'm going to say to everybody, that's a lie. That's a big lie you're telling yourself. It is. It truly is a lie. So yeah, that's another thing too. So that kind of supports the whole idea about why we believe in the idea that there's a limit to money. And don't forget, like I said earlier about the religion faith. You got some of your religion faith talks about how basically money's evil. I was a Christian. So in my clips I state that. And it talks about I'm going to use it as an example. Some parts of the Bible talks about you cannot serve two gods, basically, right? A lot of you probably have heard this, that you've probably seen this in the Bible before. So basically, the money is let's just say Satan's money. So yeah, a lot of you, not all, but a lot of you that observe certain religion faith, going to feel a certain way about money. So you formulated that idea on top of that you have to basically live poor on earth. Okay, you live your life here on earth, but you want to be poor because you believe that some savior is going to come down and kind of sucks you up into heaven, right? And then you're going to basically live life wealthy. But in the meantime, you got to live poor. You got to maybe just eat rice and beans or macaroni. And you think that's going to bring you some sort of character. So basically, you're gonna basically live in certain conditions. Now, this doesn't apply to everybody now. I'm just giving out examples. So yeah, this is what you do. You're because you observe a certain religion faith and you have a certain mentality, you not realizing for the moment, you're basically chasing money away. But you fall into this idea that money's evil, and it's really not. Money's just an idea. Here in the States, it's basically it's just a piece of paper. A lot of us give power to the almighty dollar. Yeah, we do. And I'm like, man, it's like a lot of stuff, a lot of neighborhoods. I see certain neighborhoods a certain way because of money. But again, like I was telling you, everybody, it's not really so much about the money. What supports the situation with the money is your mentality. You have a certain mentality, how you feel about yourself and everybody else. So yeah, that's why people are going to act a certain way. Or that's why neighborhood is going to act a certain way. Because it's a reflection of how you feel inside. And then you come up with a victim mentality. That I'm poor. Oh, this person has a lot of money. That's another thing. We're so caught up about why this person have a lot of money. Right? Or we talk about a sports athlete have this amount of money. Oh my God. You got one athlete, right? Whatever sport. Have a $200 million contract. Right? I used to be posted forums on the internet about athletes making this amount of money, and some people, they talk about, well, what about us? We work these important jobs and we're not even making close to nothing. And I'm like, I look at that. At the time, it was very good points. You got people play very important roles in life, and they're not millionaires, right? But you know what, everybody? My take on that is basically, you do it to yourself. It's not really the athlete's fault because the person got a $200 million contract. You limit money. We all did. We play this game about Who has more money than who? And that's another thing that is also created, the 99% and the 1%. I gotta tell you flat out, everybody, I felt when a couple of years ago in New York City about the 99%, I felt, looking back at it now, looking back at it now, I just felt like it's so pitiful. I'm like, man, it's so pitiful. You're placing yourself as a 99%. You're putting it out there that you're a victim. You're powerless. You don't deserve the best things in life, right? So you're upset at the 1%. You think it's because some people align themselves, whatever, okay? You got the 1% that align themselves with a certain amount of money, you don't like them. It doesn't matter how they got the money. The fact is that you're unhappy because you're looking at your life. People, we align ourselves every single day. How we shape our life, it all goes back to you. You attract the things that's going to serve you, or you're going to attract the things that's not going to serve you. It's the truth, everybody. It is. It's the absolute truth. And then we got that, like I mentioned about government. Government always, again, government is a reflection of us. It talks about basically, there's not enough money. We got cutbacks. We got to do a lot of cutbacks. No matter what state you live. What else? Wow. So many things around our society, that thing that happens unnecessary. It really is. You got people, let's say, for example, you got certain schools. You got cutbacks on schools and school supplies. People going through all that stuff, right? I'm like, man, that's an example. I'm like, wow, people are just putting themselves through so much. I put myself through so much because I took in the idea that there's a limit to money. That I have to live in a certain situation because that's just life. That's the mentality of a lot of us. Oh, that's just life. What are we going to do? I'm like, man, you got to really, I want to inspire as much people as possible. And if you're at a point, right now as you listen to this, like, it's like we don't have to go through all that. It is unnecessary. That's great news. It's a sign you're waking up. It is. It really is. I'm like, just the whole money system. Wow. It all connects. How you feel about yourself, take on the idea of lack of money, we limit money, we create paradigms that support the idea of lack of money. We got what? What else we got? Some of the things I'm going to do a little bit of reference on my human paradigm clip. We have insurance. Okay, insurance suggests that you don't have money. You don't have enough money to take care of yourself or whatever. We got government handouts, right? We got these government handouts. And to get the government handout, you got to go through the hoops to get that. Oh, wow, what else? We got taxes. I made a clip on taxes. You got to pay things out of obligation because of the paradigm of taxes that we created. Is basically saying that if we don't take care or put money towards certain things, different things not going to be done. But it's strange about the tax paradigm because it is a fear-based, regulated paradigm. But we created that. We got lawsuits that all falls under that. People suing this so-and-so for X amount of money. Oh man, you got all kinds of stuff. You got people conning one person because why? Why people con other people? Because of the lack mentality. There's not enough money. Why you have white collar crime? Because there's not enough money. Why you got drug deals out in the corner? Because there's not enough money. All the things I'm saying to you is not just because, again, I'm going to emphasize this really, very carefully. It's not just the lack of money. It's how you feel about yourself. Because I say this, and I'll tell you the truth. If you have a different mentality about yourself and you believe in the best things in life, that you deserve the best things in life, you're not going to be involving yourself in such activities. Believe me, I guarantee that. I'm confident to say that. I'm absolutely confident. You're not going to be observing such activities. So yeah, you got white collar crime. You got what else? You got drug dealers try to hustle, make money. You got people, one person conning somebody. Oh man, all kinds of stuff. Paying taxes, lawsuits, shucks. The court system. I made a clip on court. I made a clip based on court systems. It's called Consciousness Overturns the Court System. I mean, the court system here in the US, for example, is basically corrupted. And basically the whole thing behind the court system is because of lack of money. It's all about basically trying to get money out of you, because you see, the court system is like this also. Is that because the money that you have to pay for these fines, people, and all these other things, see, that money goes into whatever that needs to be done through the counties. Or maybe that goes to the pockets of these politicians. Or whatever fine that you get from the police officers. Where does that money go that you have to pay that lovely fine? Part of that money would go to the county, right? Part of it will go to the police department itself, or other stuff that God knows where. I can imagine. But all of that, everything, all those things that I'm talking about is because of lack of money. The whole thing with the fine, the ticket fine, is basically trying to hurt you, regardless of what you did now. I don't care what fine you get. The whole psychological thing about getting a fine is to hurt you, because you know why? You know why it's there to hurt you? It suggests it to hurt you. I mean, nobody could ever hurt you unless you're allowed. But the idea about you getting a fine in the first place, whether through a court, whether within the court system, or you getting a ticket from the cop, it's basically because there's not enough money. I like to say this: people create a new type of money system. That's the case. That is not the case. That there's not the case is that there's not enough money. That there's plenty of money for everybody. You're not going to be having these fines and these fees and all this other stuff, trying to basically try to get money out of you, or the whole attitude behind it. It won't be. It will be very different. It's not going to be the same. So I understand on a psychological level about these fines, why we get the fines. It's not because, oh, don't do that no more. Yeah, whatever. We all know about basically the court systems, or whatever, the police department. Basically, all is about getting money from you. You know that, people. Parking tickets. What else you got? Citations. What else? Man, a lot of things we put ourselves under because of because we limit money. Child support. Oh, that's one of our favorite ones. Child support. Wow, child support. Because there's not enough money to take care of your family. And then there are some cases that, for example, the mother will try to con the system and saying that, oh, I didn't get the money I get from the father of my child every month, right? So you got to basically con the system, right? Even though you are getting money, but you conning the system to get more money, because you know why? Because you believe that you don't deserve the best things in life, and that you have to do something, some shiesty move to get more money. This doesn't apply to everybody. I'm doing my best to call it. I'm just giving out the best examples that connects with the idea of lack of money and how you feel about yourself. Yeah, a lot of stuff that's behind a lot of the stuff is basically how we feel about ourselves and the lack of money. It's amazing. It truly is. So yeah, we do this. We do this to ourselves. And for what? Why we do this to ourselves? Why? We got other countries that's under a certain status we call a developing country. They don't got the means, they don't got the money to basically support themselves. They got corrupt government, they got other stuff going on in other parts of the world. Why? Because of lack of money. That's how people feel about themselves. People attract things. People attract certain things that they don't want. But people, it's about the human paradigm, like I was telling you early on. It's about finding yourself. Because if you know who you are, you're not going to involve yourself with such activities or going through such things, And that's the truth. So yeah, that's what happens. So, man, it's like, but there's a solution to a lot of this stuff. There is. It's just that you got to really step outside your ego and believe. I know earlier I was trying to remember about what the greenback stands for. I don't know. I guess you could say, kind of like, you ever heard of this joke? Like, I owe you? I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you will understand what I'm saying. The Federal Reserve notes are basically a loan. That's all it is. Okay? All right, I don't know how the other money system is in other parts of the world, but all I'm going to say is that the money that's basically there in other parts of the land is basically, it's just different. Every country is different. Every country is different. So yeah, here in the U.S. you got the federal notes. Other parts of the country, you got Mexico, you got Canada. Yeah. I mean, but who created that stuff? We did. A lot of us create a lot of this stuff. And for what? Because we just like going through hardship. We do like going through hardship. We actually believe in the idea that we have to limit ourselves and live through certain conditions because of what? Because of our own fear? What? Because of upbringing? What? Because of your religion, faith? That suggests that you got to live in certain conditions? Or your mother and father say life is hard and you got to live in such ways? Or what? You got to do such activities to get money? Or you got to con one person to get more money? Or what? You're a police officer and you what? You get bonuses of how many tickets you give out? Get that nice little bonus check? Come on, please. All about lack of money for what? And then you think about an idea about if everybody are able to take care of themselves. Certain things, you think that no one's not going to contribute to life, and that's a bunch of BS. Wow, man, it's just amazing. I want to talk about basically, I don't know. I want to talk about this, okay? About what my take on or my idea about basically creating a new type of money system, okay? And you know what? And it's also about you're changing your outlook about money, okay? A lot of us, again, before I go on, a lot of us, again, we think that by you having X amount of money, that's supposed to define you. Having an amount of money doesn't really define you, people. And see, I feel like that's the problem. You think that you're a better person because you have this X amount of money. But you created money. You are worthy and you are prosperity way before you created the actual money. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. Okay, to go on what I'm going to say, my take on basically about the idea of money, okay? Now, it's going to doing this, okay, creating a new money system is going to require certain things. It's going to require certain changes, people. Okay? Creating a new money requires basically one of the things is to remove government. People shifting out of the whole government system. Okay? Because you see, the government system basically that we put together operates on a particular currency. So in order to basically create a new money system, the best way I believe is to shift out of the government system altogether. Okay? And I'm gonna only talk about the US, for example, okay? And maybe I'm gonna touch a little bit on Europe too, a little bit. Now, we all know that money, we put value on the currency. We put value on the Federal Reserve notes. Even though the Federal Reserve notes is a loan for the government, US government, for so long, anyway. But we put value in it, right? And I feel like the best way to devalue the Federal Reserve notes is for everybody here in the US, for example, is to create a non-localized currency that's not regulated by banks and is not regulated by government. Okay? The one that regulates the money is everybody. It's the world's population. Okay? That's one of the steps. Okay? So by us creating a new money system, basically, you're not going to be using the Federal Reserve notes anymore. So the dollar, the US dollar, for example, is going to lose value. It's going to be monopoly money. That's it. It's going to basically, the value is gone. Federal Reserve notes can't do anything about it. It's just, they're going to have to pack it in. So yeah, and the same thing for the euro dollar. So basically, the euro dollar loses value. But you see, everything I'm going to say here carefully, it connects. People shifting out of government worldwide. Because the whole thing about the situation, this big mess that we create in the first place, is political. With the whole money system. It's political. And you all know that. I envision a lot of us waking up. I envision a lot of us that we grow up and take the responsibility of basically taking charge, taking control, living a life that you prefer. You see, the thing is about while people are transitioning, creating a non-localized type of currency, you see, what I envision, a lot of people, basically, they basically have a different mentality. People took on the idea that they deserve the best things in life. It's a revelation from within. It is. It's a revelation from within. And, it's like, you're not falling under the idea that I have to earn it. I have to go through all this to get money. Because you actually believe that you are prosperity. But your mentality about the money while doing the transition, okay? You see, you look at the new type of currency is basically as a tool. The new money system, the new currency, okay, the non-localized money is just a tool. It's not really about who has more money, or it's not actually about the numbers. Meaning, and I'm going to say this very carefully now, it's not about basically how much money out there and all of that. No. And it's not about who has more money and who has less money. It's not about that no more. Okay? The money that whatever you need the money for, it's just there. You see, when I thought about this early, okay, when the idea hit me hard, it's like money is like a tool. It's like a screwdriver and a wrench. It's just there on top of the table. It's there to be used. It's yours. It's like, use it. People basically looking at the idea of money as just a tool. That's it. You're changing the fundamental. You're changing the idea of what you think about money. I know a lot of it is also mental, and a lot of it is spiritual. I know that. It's changing the concept about money. So money is just there to be circulated. Whatever people need to, whatever. If you want to repair the roads, or if you want to produce crops around the world, circulate the funds around. It's there. It's there for everybody. There's no idea of taxes. The new currency is basically cancel out a lot of ideas that we built. There won't be it won't be any need for the IRS, for example. You don't have anybody trying to threaten you about you need to pay this, because there's enough money for everybody. It's just there. Whatever amount of money you need to do this and do that is there. There won't be any wars. There won't be any other stuff going on. There won't be anybody kidnapping somebody for ransom for this kind of money in other parts of the world. A lot of things will be cut out. But you see, everybody, it's not just the currency, it's not just the transition of the new currency alone. Okay? See, there's other things happening at the same time. Is how you feel about yourself. I mean, we all could change currency, a new currency, but if we hold on to the old mentality, the mentality that you don't deserve the best things in life and you have to fight to earn it, yeah, it's going to be the same thing as if the Federal Reserve was still around. So yeah, it does go together how you feel about yourself. And the reason why I'm envisioning about the Federal Reserve being removed, because it comes with old ideas. It does. Whether we decide to keep the Federal Reserve or not, my take on, I feel like I envision us basically removing the Federal Reserve, create something different, a nice change. That's my take on it. It just goes perfect for the transition for everybody here in the US, for example. So money is just there. It's just there to be circulated. I understand the idea about exchange. You know, the concept with the money is to exchange. Okay, you want me to do something for you? What I'm going to get in return? I understand that. Yeah, people, I do envision people exchanging. Yeah. But I know a lot of stuff that I'm saying to you, it doesn't make sense to the mind. I know that. Because we're comfortable with the old idea. We're comfortable about this particular idea that we took on, that is the only way. And it's not. And I'm going to say this flat out. You know, we got other paradigms, other ideas that we created, saying that, no, it won't be a good idea if everybody has money. Why? Why would you say that? Why? Because you like the idea of a poor, middle class, and wealthy? You like that? Let me just say this. Do you like the idea that because you want to try to control a population by dividing a population because of money? I'll call out anybody. Anybody. Even a non-sayers to the religious people, anybody that observe the idea of religion, I want to call out. So you'd rather live through life through hardship and going through all those things that I just listed in this clip, just for the sake of an idea that in your head is telling you that no, it doesn't make no sense to basically change the money system around the world. So you'd rather go through all the hunger, starvation. You'd rather have a land that's not able to produce crops because it's saying that, oh, we don't have enough money to grow. And then you have to cry towards corrupted politicians for money, and money being taken away because people have a lack mentality. So you rather live life in this such condition because in your head, it doesn't make sense to basically change the whole money system. And on top of that, we create the idea of Satan. We think that there's some evil force out there, right? That controls the whole money system. And it'll be chaos that everybody has money. So you rather live life through that. You know, everybody, I'm calling out everybody that falls under this, that just basically fall under this paradigms. And I call myself out because I used to take on these ideas. I just woke up. I limit myself drastically because of certain mentality that I held up. I held on to this mentality for so long, and you know what? You know what it does to me? I feel so angry. I feel so depressed. I feel so stressed out. All because of what? Because of money? It's not just the money, it's because how I feel about myself. So yeah, you know, the transition of a new money system, okay? The transition of a new money system is basically goes together how people change in their mentality. And I know you're asking, it's like, how are we supposed to remove the Federal Reserve? What's your strategy, Cresso? Okay. One of the things that my thought, what I envision, is it's not about asking politicians permission about changing the money currency. No. I did mention earlier it's about people shifted out of the government system. Okay, you want to call it anarchy, call it whatever you want to call it. But people basically got together, widespread. I'm talking about a massive movement. Not just here in the US, but around the world. Okay? People decided to basically oust the idea of government altogether. And people, I'm not talking about rioting, and I'm not talking about hurting people in government office. No. We could do better than that, okay? I'm talking about basically removing the idea altogether. And what I mean by, and I'm going to say it very specifically, is everybody ignoring or basically shifting. Let me just put it this way. You are basically ignoring the government. You're ignoring its laws. You're ignoring everything what it puts out there that it suggested it. Because keep in mind, everybody, we created government. We created government, and we can remove government altogether. All the laws that the government put out there, I don't care if it's the 10 Commandments. All that stuff could be burnt to the fire. All the court buildings around the world that support the actual laws that's been created by us. We are power to remove it, people. It's time to grow up. Take charge of your life. And this goes for everybody. So it does require us ignoring every single government law around this world. People got together, create a new money or new currency system. Look at the money as a tool. It's just there to be used. It's not about who has more money. Okay, it's not about that anymore. It's just there. Okay? So when you basically get together with everybody, okay, when we start to do that, right? That basically what the movement does is basically will remove the Federal Reserve. All those things that seem to be established won't have a foothold anymore. It won't. The court system won't have a foothold anymore. The government don't have a foothold anymore. The police stations the law enforcers, or let's just put it this way, the lawmakers won't have any foothold on anything. Because without the lawmakers, what good is the law enforcers? You need somebody to enforce it. So when we actually work well together in creating this new money system and basically changing the entire structure of how the society throughout the world is, a lot of those things that I just listed, it won't have any foothold anymore. And you know what? You know what it requires? How much violence? Zero. Zero violence. Zero. It requires you that you don't have to harm anybody to change. I don't support movements. Any kind of movement that actually talks about change and they talk about harming somebody, I don't support it. I really believe that we are much more stronger than that. Or we are power. I mean, we are freedom. We can do whatever we want. But I'm going to inspire people to, create something different. With a different approach. Nobody, no entity, no organization has any power over you people. So there's no need to basically try to fight. There is no powers that be because that's your own ego talking. We created that phantom idea. Okay? There is no powers that be. Okay? The one that has the power, the one that's really power is you. And me. So if you want to say the powers that be, I guess you could say it's us. All right? So, yes, the transition does, a lot of things go hand in hand with the transition. Again, everybody, you got to change your mentality. It's very, 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 very important. Change your mentality. The ideas that you got from upbringing, throw that out the window. You deserve the best things in life. I'm excited to say about the money system, the new money system. I'm excited to look at money as just a tool. It's just there for us. It is. That's all the money's there. It's just there. It's not about who, again, I want to emphasize, it's not about who has more money. Don't worry about this person have much money because it's not going to be about that anymore. It's about basically the money's just there. All right? And if you ask them, and then you probably think, you ask yourself, well, who's going to create the money? I mean, money can be produced by us. If you want to create the money, it can be created. I'm just throwing these ideas, everybody. I'm just throwing this out because this is something that hit me. I believe the idea that came from me within consciousness, because we're all consciousness people. My focus is that I look at a lot of stuff around our world, and I see a lot of things that's unnecessary. I don't believe that everything is set and there's nothing could be done about it. I know that we could definitely live life very fruitful. We could do things to take care of our lands. We could take care of ourselves. We could take care of our lands. We could do different things. This is what I believe. I don't believe in this idea, this religious idea that people are evil, money's evil, and all that BS. I don't believe in that. I mean, I understand the inner workings of life so well now, because I rediscovered who I am. I know that we deserve the best things in life. That's the truth. So, I just want to tell everybody that, by this transition, is like it requires everybody. It requires each and every one of you working well together. Now, you listen to this clip, and whatever ideas you get off of what I'm saying, please share, because, all I'm going to say is that we don't really have to limit money. We don't. This clip is also about for those that like currency. And now there's a lot of people that don't like currency, period. And that's okay. If you don't like money, whatever, that's fine. But for those that like currency, okay, and you ask yourself deep down in your head, like, man, I really wish this whole thing could be changed. It's like, this is ridiculous. I want to say this. I know a lot of us think about this inside. Okay, we have this thought. Even though your own ego mind's telling you, you're nuts by thinking about that. It don't make no sense what you're thinking, but you know what? Deep down inside of you, everybody, a lot of stuff that goes on in this world, it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't. You don't have to put up with corrupted government systems. You don't have to put up with mafia, try to control or drug cartels or whatever the case may be. A lot of stuff that goes around our world, a lot of these ideas that we created, and people fall under these paradigms because of lack of money. You know deep down inside it doesn't have to be that way. The only thing is, everybody, is that, you see, you're thinking about, you're in your mind, even though you feel like it's impossible, sometimes you feel like, well, how can we change it? You know, what could be done? And that's what you're thinking. What could be done to change the world for a better place? And I want to get my message across here, okay? And I know I'm talking about money a lot. It's not, you see, again, it's not so much about the money. Okay, people? It's how you feel about yourself. Because I tell you the truth, how you feel about yourself is going to reflect outside. Okay? It affects everybody. You walk around with a victim mentality, and you walk around have a salary cap. You put yourself under a salary cap, okay? It comes with things. You're going to line yourself into situations that you don't want. And then you find yourself doing something to somebody else, whatever. You're trying to scheme somebody for more money or whatever the case may be, because you have a mentality that you don't deserve anything. And I'm saying to everybody that you do deserve the best things in life. I don't care who you are. It doesn't matter. Because every single human being in this world are consciousness. That's who we are. I'm going to continue inspiring everybody. I'm going to continue envision that everybody collectively work well together. And yes, by doing so, yes, I do envision a major shift. Like I was telling you about the currency, the new currency, the non-localized currency, along with how everybody's changing their mentality about how they feel about themselves. Everything goes side by side. Yes, there are going to be a major shift. There are going to be a major shift out of government and other ideas. Having a money that's not regulated by banks and government. I'm going to say this again. I just want to make sure I want to make sure I'm covering this very well, what I envision. Everybody collectively, it's kind of like it's like an about face. Everybody's doing an about face. And you just basically decide to create, again, a non-localized money. Yes, a lot of us from different regions, we talk about it. I do envision that. A lot of people just discussing about it. And yeah, I'm going to be straight up. It's not about consulting a local politician. No. It's not about that. We already know what government stands for. We created it. We mutated it to be a fear-regulated machine. It's a lack mentality. Like I was telling you early on this clip. When do you ever hear about any type of government system around the world talks about prosperity? One of the major things that government talks about is basically the stats that they give you is basically it's not enough money. And how much taxes you got to pay through obligation, right? I mean, wake up, people. So yeah, so within the transition, a lot of us, every one of us, basically transition out of the government system. It's about you having a different mentality about yourself, you taking care of yourself, people working well together, money's being circulated around the world, as well as earth resources being circulated around the world. There's no barriers, there's nothing to be afraid of. Everything is there. It's just there. The money system, the new money, is basically a tool. It's just there. It's a screwdriver, or it's a wrench. All you got to do is pick it up and fix the pipes. That's it. It's there. And I want to cover this. I do believe, I don't care what anybody say, you can laugh, whatever, that people still contribute to life. There's people who do different functions, different jobs. People want to work in a warehouse. Whatever you want to do, people are still doing it. I do believe people contributing to life still, regardless if money is not a factor anymore. About you gotta work hard for money and you gotta put yourself through situations. No, people will still be creative. People still contribute to life because this is our world. We have a responsibility. We gotta take care of our world. We gotta do certain things, right? We gotta keep certain things running, right? Certain things that gotta be kept running. Or maybe we'll change things around here and there. But I'm very optimistic about it. I'm very optimistic. So no, I'm not afraid at all about people not going to do anything. Everyone's going to stay at home. I mean, if some people want to stay at home and not do nothing, okay. But that's not going to stop me. See, that didn't stop me from doing this clip or share to you what I envision. I'm going to say this. Because we're all consciousness, a lot of us, a good number of us, I'm going to say this, a good number of us, we do want to give. We do want to do great things in life. A lot of us, you see, a lot of us want to feel useful. We naturally want to do something. I believe that. Because I know who we are with consciousness. I'm not afraid about a new transition. You want to call it a new transition or a transition to something different, whatever. But I'm not afraid of that. Because I know who we are. So yeah, people basically doing about face. Basically putting away the old idea and creating something different. It's not about asking permission about some local politician. It's not about voting or whatever. I don't know. I honestly don't care. I care less about voting. It's about people. You see, a lot of us, we do have common grounds. A lot of us, we want to be able to take care of ourselves, our family, or whatever we want to do, right? I'm very confident that a lot of us, every single one of us, will get together and create this new type of money system that, yeah, for those that like currency, yeah, we'll use the money and do things. We do amazing things in this world. But I'm going to say this, everybody. You're worthy, your prosperity without the currency. But if you like the currency, you like the idea of money, okay, great. I like money. I just like to, again, my purpose of this clip is to basically express an idea to inspire anybody about just a different concept, how we feel about money, changing the whole thing up. And yes, with that, it's going to be a lot of changes. A lot of changes. A lot. So, that because we follow the old system, it's going to constantly repeat itself. It's going to constantly go. So it requires we got to do something different. We just got to do something different. That's why I want to inspire everybody. So anyway, I think I cover a lot. Oh, well, actually, excuse me. Another thing too, with the new money system, it'll cut out credit cards. I mean, there won't be any need for credit cards. You won't be under this thing about you're under some sort of credit score system. It's ridiculous. Credit score system. There won't be any need for loans. So yeah, I do envision a major shift. I'm not worrying about people losing their jobs in these credit card companies or these loan companies. Those people are intelligent. They'll find something else better to do. Same thing for the IRS. I do envision a new type of bank. Maybe a storage type of facility to store the money. But it's not the same bank that we know of. It's different. I'm not afraid, people, to step outside of the grid. and envision something different. I'm not afraid. I'm saying it because I know who I am. I am consciousness, just like you. We deserve the best things in life. I'm going to continue. As long as I'm in this world, that I decide to be in this world, I'm going to inspire every person from all walks of life, just to inspire them and say, you deserve the best things in life, no matter what. It's time to cut the underdog stories and his victim mentality and living a poor man's life. Them days are over. So that's all I have to say. I'm excited. I feel pumped up as always. And I believe everybody listening to this clip are inspired. And I'm just excited. So, all right, everybody. Until then, I will be back with another interesting topic. Take care.